Hello, world and universe. Welcome to the Trevor Donald Experience. Manifest your truth. And if you're new to the channel, please hit that like and subscribe button. And for all my continued followers, I want to say thank you. And this is an opinion-based video channel where I try to open your eyes and ears up to some of the travails and tribulations that take place throughout our cities, our states, our country, and sometimes around the world. And this story is about the new president and his governmental policies, and it looks like President Trump is trying to get rid of some governmental waste. And we know there's been a lot of stories about FEMA and their lack of accountability and real help to people that need it, whether it is the Hurricane Helene that took place in North Carolina, or the California wildfires, where Biden was giving California, LA residents $780 in aid. What can you do with $700 anywhere? Even at Costco or Sam's, it would go in a blink of an eye. And these people have lost everything, their homes, their goods, their things that they've cherished. So, and when these disasters take place, why doesn't the government, like FEMA, these alphabet organizations, just spread the money around? They have billions of dollars. We know the government pushes a button to print money. And we know our U.S. government is financing and helping other countries, even wars. The billions of dollars that are under the Biden administration that has given to Ukraine with the Ukraine and Russia war. The Biden administration has given billions during the Gaza Strip war. But we don't want to help the people that live right here in the borders of the United States. There is a hypocrisy and a dichotomy there. But we got to talk about government waste with another alphabet organization that President Trump decided to disband under this new DOGE agency that he's created with Elon Musk. And we got to see how much governmental waste was going to this one particular agency and what they were doing with the money. Mind you, while we have untreated and undiagnosed mental health issues, we have a huge opioid crisis in America, we have homelessness that is rampant, helplessness, joblessness, inept inner city public schools, and there's no money for any of those issues that are tearing down the ethical and moral fabric of our country. But let's see what this particular alphabet agency has been doing with their money. Let's go. And President Trump has disbanded this particular agency. At USAid, waste and abuse runs deep. For decades, the United States Agency for International Development, that's USAID, USAID, United States Agency for International Development, has been unaccountable to taxpayers as it funnels massive sums of money to the ridiculous, and in many cases, malicious, pet projects of entrenched bureaucrats with next to no oversight. White House press secretary rips U.S. aid amid DOGE scrutiny. Insane priorities. White House press secretary Caroline Leavitt on Monday ripped the U.S. Agency for International Development, USAID, amid a probe by Elon Musk's Department of Government Efficiency, DOGE. USAID staffers were barred from their offices on Monday as DOGE conducted an efficiency review of the agency. Musk said during an X-Space session Monday, President Donald Trump agreed USAID should be shut down. The agency has long provided billions in humanitarian aid worldwide. However, Press Secretary Leavitt told reporters the agency has proven to be poor stewards of tax dollars. Remember, these are our tax dollars, and look where it's going. If you take a look at the waste and abuse that has run through Usaid over the past several years, there are some of the insane priorities that organizations have been spending money on, she said. Among the expenses highlighted by Levitt was $1.5 million to advance DEI in Serbia's workplace. Another expense included $70,000 for the production of a DEI musical in Ireland. And remember, DEI was created. Remember, it is a post-affirmative action kind of thing that was created by President Barack Obama back in 2010. Also, Barack Obama is the one that started pushing these LGBTQ issues throughout the United States and the world. President Obama. And remember, DEI was to replace affirmative action. It also says the agency also spent $47,000 on transgender opera in Colombia and $32,000 for a transgender comic book in Peru, according to Levitt. Now listen to all of this. All of this money is being spent outside of the United States. What do you need DEI in Serbia for? What do you need a transgender opera in Colombia for? A transgender comic book in Peru? Why are we propagating all of these kinds of issues on not only the American citizens, but across the entire world? What hidden agenda was really taking place? I don't know about you, but as an American taxpayer, I don't want my tax dollars going towards this crap. And I know the American people don't either. And that's exactly what Elon Musk has been tasked by President Trump to do, she said. Doge last month discovered and halted an outgoing payment of $50 million for condoms in Gaza. So not only are we giving money for the Gaza Strip war, billions, they're allocating $50 million for condoms and another $37 million to the World Health Organization, according to the White House. Condoms, $50 million worth. Musk suggested via X that a lot of the money ended up in the pockets of Hamas, not actually condoms. Levitt, during a press briefing, decreed the expense as a preposterous waste of taxpayer money. The reason for this is to make sure every penny that is going out the door is not conflicting with the executive orders and actions this president has already taken, she added. What does it mean? No more funding for illegal DEI programs. It means no more funding for the Green New Scam. Here are a few examples of the waste and the abuse. Now just listen to these numbers. Now mind you, we have the wildfires in California where people need help. Don't forget the hurricanes that took place in North Carolina less than a year ago. And people need help, and FEMA has dropped the ball. But we're spending $50 million on condoms in the Gaza Strip. Here are a few examples of the waste and abuse. $1.5 million to advance diversity, equity, and inclusion in Serbia. $70,000, I told you, for the production of a DEI musical in Ireland. $2.5 million for electric vehicles in Vietnam. $47,000 for a transgender opera in Colombia. $32,000 for a transgender comic book in Peru. $2 million for sex changes and LGBTQ activism in Guatemala. Really? $6 million to fund tourism in Egypt. Hundreds of thousands of dollars for a nonprofit linked to designated terrorist organizations, even after an inspector general launched an investigation. Millions to Eco Health Alliance, which was involved in research in the Wuhan lab. And of course, you know, the conspiracy about the Wuhan lab is what initiated the pandemic. That's the conspiracy. Hundreds of thousands of meals then went to an Al-Qaeda affiliated fighters association in in Syria, funding to print personalized contraceptives, birth control devices in developing countries, and hundreds of millions of dollars to fund irrigation canals, farming equipment, and even fertilizer used to support the unprecedented poppy cultivation and heroin production in Afghanistan, benefiting the Taliban. This list literally goes on, and this has been happening for decades. What in the world was going on with Usaid? This is, to me, not surprising whatsoever. And remember, Usaid stands for the U.S. Agency for International Development. And in my video channel is to raise your level of consciousness and awareness. Go look these things up. You also have to remember during the time, and why is DEI and this LGBTQ transgender issue being not only shoved down people's throats, but also being heavily and secretly funded. You got to remember, when affirmative action hit, it was supposed to have been allocated for people of color to get an opportunity to get a start on the race to success. But guess who benefited from affirmative action the most? White women. Now you have this DEI scenario that is taking place that has replaced affirmative action after the Supreme Court abolished it a year or two ago. This was initiated by ex-President Barack Obama back in 2010, along with these transgender LGBTQ issues. And DEI is supposed to have been allocated to make sure that individuals got a upstart in areas in business that probably they were being overlooked. However, and you would think that it would be primarily for people of color or black folks. Well, this DEI thing encapsulates Asians, Indians from India, Native Americans. It encapsulates all other races that are non-white. And here again, black folks have fallen to the bottom of this DEI issue. And there have been many other ethnicities that have had an opportunity to take advantage of it. But the problem I have with DEI is you should be hiring people based on the content and the character of their work and not the color of their skin. It's amazing how in sports, which the big three, baseball, basketball, and football, started off as all white, and eventually you're seeing baseball, basketball, and football. Basketball is 72% black. Why is it in athletics that we will go out and hire the best athlete in the world, but when it comes to other areas that can be more detrimental and more harmful and more helpful, we are utilizing DEI to put people in places that are not sufficient for those roles, like doctors, like lawyers, like air traffic controllers, like fire chiefs, like police chiefs. We need to hire the people that can do the best job, not based on the color of their skin, but the content and character of their work. This Usaid issue is unfortunate. This is a definite scenario of governmental waste, and the Usaid is not the only agency is doing it. America knows how to push a button to get things done, but we're not taking care of our people. Tell me what you think. This has been the Trevor Donald Experience.